All right, I'm Victor Odion, popularly known as VIC on the MIC, a radio junkie. I am a content creator. I am a musician. I'm a gospel, artist, and I also, yeah, I think that's basically it. I am an idealist as well, and I'm a broadcast journalist. I forgot to mention that. I am. I am an editor, a video editor. I'm an audio editor as well. And I don't know, I feel like I've said so much. There's just so much about me. And I'm a music director. Yeah. So, yeah, this is Victor Odion. Victor Odion. It is Odion, but they say Odion. Odion, Odion, different pronunciation.
Diversified Game. Learn how to start, run, and sustain your business.
Hey, it's Kellen, and today on Diversified Game, I got my bruv, Victor, and he's going to give us the game. You heard it right. He does a lot going on, but he's probably one of those most kind people that you're going to meet. If you go on the links in the description, you'll see his social medias, and you see he does things of gratitude. Just giving people a piece of paper sometimes can put a smile on people's face, and he's one of those people. So, Victor, welcome to the show. How are you doing, my bro?
Thank you very much, Kellen. It's such a great pleasure to be here. Let me start off by saying that I cannot particularly, say that this was how I discovered these things. I just knew that they happened with the tide. But I know one thing is for sure. I'd always known I was creative. And I discovered when I was in the university, when we were given group work, because I studied mass communication. And in mass communication, it entails, it's either you're functioning as a TV presenter, radio, public relations officer, a print officer, and all of those things. But I chose radio. And I chose radio because a particular radio station in Port Harcourt, Nigeria, actually influenced me too. I loved these guys. Oh my God, they were so good at what they were doing. I come back from school, and instead of doing my homework, I just pick my radio set and I'm listening like one old man. Because if you're listening to the radio set here, they look at you as an old person. That is the old people that listen to radio. But I was enjoying how they communicated. Right, I enjoyed how they were giving out good music, how they were speaking to your present, your situation at the time. So fast forward to when I got out of school, God so kind. After my youth service, I got a job with a radio station. How that thing happened, I cannot tell, because these radio stations, they give you jobs per experience. So if you're not experienced, they don't see any need of giving you a job. So I was wondering, when I submitted the application, I placed it in God's hands. I said, God, I have submitted this application. I don't know how you want to do it, but do it. I got that job as a radio presenter, and I don't know how, but I got fan love. I got people loving what I do. So I was hosting a comic radio show because when I started the radio, people told me that I have a sense of humor, I was funny, and I could, venture into comedy. So I was like, me, how am I funny? I mean, I just say these things and it happens that way. So that was how I started the show on Sunday nights, especially during COVID. During COVID, people were in the house. So people wanted something that would make them relax. So that was an advantage for me. I did a comic show from 10 p.m. Nigerian time till about 1 a.m., speaking non-stop. I just go on breaks, maybe musical breaks, and all of these things. So what I do is I have these soundtracks that once I maybe track a particular joke, I narrate experiences and I do them in a very comic way, so people can relate to it. And I say relatable stories that people can understand. And then once I feel like it is funny to me, I just click on those soundtracks and it looks like people are laughing. You could hear people laugh from those soundtracks. By the time I am done with that show, I get up to, at least for each show, I get up to 200 persons requesting to be my friends on Facebook for each show. So sometimes it's even more than that. So I started getting some DMs, you're good, this, that, keep it up. Radio became my thing. I loved it. So that was how I adapted to being a radio broadcaster. Now, let's talk about my musical life. I am somebody, I've always been a church boy. Let me start with, I used to play drums in the church, and then I discovered that I could sing. One day I was just singing. Somebody said, "Guy, you get a nice voice, so you have a nice voice. Why don't you leave drums and pick up singing?" And then I thought of it. I'm like, I cannot stand in front of people. The person was like, "So all those drums you've been playing, were you playing it behind people? You are playing in front of people, so they already see you. All you need to do is just to position yourself, hold the mic, and sing." That was how I sang one song. And the first time I sang that song, I don't know where the chorus came from. I just told my choir director, "Can I do this song?" The guy was like, "Oh, sure, why not?" Kevin, I kid you not, I scored that song. I did that song. On that very day, a lady came and knelt down in front of me, lifted her hands, and was crying, shedding tears while I was on stage singing. So I was singing the song. I didn't want, because sometimes I can be shy. So, and then for a first time, I I had to close my eyes because I didn't want to see the people looking at me. And I was thinking, by the time I opened my eye, I've seen somebody kneeling down in front of me, raising up hands in holy adoration and crying as though I'm like, is she crying for me? How is it? So she was already like the Holy Spirit took control. I'm gonna leave it that way. And I didn't see it that way. I thought I was just gonna come to sing and go. So it occurred to me at that time. I didn't need any prophet to tell me that, hey, you have a niche here, right? So after then, when such things happen, they begin to give you some more songs to score. They begin to give you some more songs to do, and that was how I started. I started leading praise and worship. So my, should I say, my focus or my main aim is on praise and worship. I'm gonna be uploading a new video on YouTube, either tonight or tomorrow, and it's one of my praise sessions that I had sometime last year. In fact, I was invited to another event yesterday. I have that recorded as well. I'm going to be uploading that. So I am beginning to, take up YouTube content seriously because, of course, you encouraged me, and I have to thank you for that. Making me to see reasons why I should make use of my YouTube the way it should. Usually, I am more on TikTok and Instagram and Facebook. Even my Twitter account is just there. So yeah, so I'll be sharing the link with you as well to check. You have my link now. What am I saying? You are my guy already right there. So yes, that's how singing started. And by the grace of God, God has taken me from one level to another. You know, I am, by God's grace, I am a creative person. So sometimes I try to do things out of the ordinary. If a song is like this, I look at how can we pattern this not to sound like what it is originally, but to sound better than what it is. So I think that has also helped me to create another niche for myself that when I'm coming with my team, people don't expect to see the usual. I try to give you something that you don't see coming. So that is something that another angle that I've leveraged on that God has been helping me as well. So I just sit down, I get ideas from anywhere. I could be using the bathroom and I get ideas. Yeah.
So let me ask you, when doing the praise and worship, because a lot of people, I mean, you grow up in church and people say, look, what I'm doing as a kid, I'm performing, I'm I've seen the impact, but when you start to talk about the finance of how do I make this work, I've written a book on it. It's on Amazon, very quick read, but I think most people buy it because I've given and laid out globally some of the media networks, some of the magazines, the TV, the conferences as well, that people don't really know. How did you go about, or have you gone about being able to monetize that gifting? Or is that something that is a community give back that you do? And I ask everybody what their community give back is. So if we're getting into it early, it's all good. But please share that, because people struggle with that, especially if you get one little cobble and say, oh, I can make money in this. Oh man, this is a beautiful thing. So please explain.
Okay, yeah, of course. It's something that personally, I have, like you said, it's my own way of giving back. So I don't charge you, right? I don't tell you that if you invite me for your programs or your shows to lead in praise and worship, this is what this is what you should give me. No, I won't give you that. The only thing is I would let you know if I would be available or not. So if I'm gonna be available, I'll let you know. I'm coming with my team, and I would expect that coming with a team, you should, find a way to appreciate the team. That okay, this is how. But if it doesn't come from you as well, that's no problem, you know. But I don't really have a charge for that, though I charge for other things I do. I'm also an MC. I forgot to mention that I'm a master of ceremony. I MC events, weddings, birthdays, all. So I charge for those ones. I mean, I make money from those ones. But I see this as this is God's all of those things are God's gifts to me, right? Those abilities. But I this particular one is special, you know, because I started in the church as somebody who leads. So I don't see myself going back to the same church to say, this place I started from, oh yeah, you should start giving me money for it. You know, I don't see myself that way. But then I want to leverage on YouTube as a channel for people to see what God is doing in my life and then to be a blessing to other people and also see how I can begin to make some money from YouTube for the team. Because I have a team of people who play bass guitar, the keyboard, the drums, even my backup vocalist. I have to pay these people. These people, they spend money to learn these things as a gift. So, how do I get money to pay them, to appreciate them for their work? I cannot come and start telling them that, because me, I'm doing it free of charge. People have to do it free of charge. No, it's not. It doesn't work that way. So, these are like the channels that I want to use in, paying them. But personally, I don't ask for a charge, for me to be in your programs. And if I have songs, by the grace of God, I'll be writing songs, I'll be putting them also on channels. I think I've written a couple of songs. I've not just recorded them. And using them as channels, I mean, putting them on channels, Spotify, YouTube, and the rest of them as well. I feel like I could also, make some money from there rather than charging the church to lead out in praise and worship.
Man, so you have the master of ceremonies, radio, praise and worship, and
Yes.
of course, you're doing content for platforms
Yes.
like the African Diaspora News
Yeah.
Channel. A lot of people, they'll be watching the Big King, the small children, the young, the old children, they'll be watching and saying, I'm going to go bother you for a loan. I'm going to go bother you for some money. Can you talk to people on if you go into the creative side, the arts, the ministry? I think sometimes when
Mm,
people see you, even on YouTube, they figure, oh, you're so rich. You have everything, that I
mm,
want. Can you tell people your formula on being able to provide for yourself? And, you don't have to mention if you have another, other hustles.
mm,
But
mm.
are there other things
Okay.
that you have to do to sustain yourself? Because entertainment, just like writing a book, it's not an easy game to make a living, to be able to sustain yourself for the long term. It's always, I'm
Very
looking for
true.
the next. I'm looking for the next.
Mm,
Very true. So, what I do is basically, I told you I'm a master of ceremonies. So that is not one job that comes in all the time. So that's like a side hustle. Personally, I manage a university's studio, like the mass communication studio, the radio and television studio. So that's like another income for me. Then I mean I'm a contributor for African Diaspora News Channel, and that is another platform, right? So yeah, so I'm a voiceover artist again. I mean, as we just keep talking, I just discovered that there are other things I've not mentioned in the past. So yeah, I'm also a voiceover artist. I I do voiceovers for brands, for institutions. So I get paid from that as well. I train as well. In April, I'll be coming up with, together with the facilitator, I'm a co-facilitator, but we always put up this voiceover, more like a boot camp, where we train aspiring voiceover artists on how to be professional voiceover artists. And those things are where we get, some monies from as well to sustain. So these are like channels. These are some of the channels. And I've not started earning from YouTube yet. I mean, how many subscribers do I even have? You know, so that maybe that's like that's futuristic.
Hello, everyone. Come along with London and Sydney as they show you around the vibrant country of Cameroon. We explore the heart of Africa through the eyes of London and Sydney. Two explorers who journey across the great city of Yaoundé, exploring its rich culture, vibrant market squares, cultural heritage, and wildlife. With giggles and excitement, London and Sydney Explore Cameroon takes you on a fun-filled adventure, providing insight into the country's culture and traditions through the pages of this book. It's packed with exciting stories and super cool facts about Cameroon that will make you go, wow. Get your copy now, available on Amazon and in libraries near you. There's only one easy way to experience the exploration of Cameroon, and it's through London and Sydney. Don't wait, get yours.
Accomplishments and just how you did things. You talked about the voiceover and all that, but I was asking
Yeah.
you how you monetize and maintain.
Okay, yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
how do you make a bag? So just go from wherever you think. It's okay. We'll sort it out.
All right. So, there's a saying in Nigeria that one road doesn't lead to the street. It means that you just you need multiple sources of income. So God has blessed me, and I'm aware of it. He has given me certain gifts and talent that it feels like you don't want to leave it. He gave, if you notice in the Holy Book, he gave seeds. He gave one, he gave 5 talents, he gave 2 talents, and he gave 1 talent to the other, right? Remember what happened? The one with 5 did nothing with it. The one with 3, nothing to show for it. It is that one that had 1, that multiplied his talent. And it's like the same way that God expects us to use what He has given unto us, to multiply or to give ourselves, to give back to ourselves. And that's why I said that I'm a voiceover artist, I'm a voiceover trainer, I'm a radio broadcaster, I'm a studio manager, I'm a YouTube content contributor, and I create content in pidgin English for certain brands, so that's also one niche that I'm focusing on, pidgin English, Nigerian pidgin English. That's one niche that a lot of people are trying to get into. One space that people do not really know. Let me say, people do not know that is actually lucrative because everybody speaks pidgin. But how many people can actually make money from speaking pidgin English? So that's one thing I want to now focus on, have another brand of myself doing content in pidgin English for brands, maybe adverts, commercials, promotional messages, and yeah. So basically, I was saying that I'm not making money from YouTube yet.
I want to say, for your pidgin English, I need you to keep pushing that, and you'll see the advertisement in this video of our children's book series, and it will be in pidgin. And I think that's very important because YouTube is bigger than English. I tell everybody who can speak another language, do your YouTube, and even the South African girls, I say you don't have to just do it in Zulu or Xhosa. You can even do it in Spedi, because Dr. C was a doctor that we knew, and she was from Cameroon, and she did her health advice in pidgin. She was a beautiful woman. She did not even see 50, but she's no longer here. But her videos live on. So people who don't speak English and maybe all they know is pidgin, right? And pidgin in Nigeria, somebody in Cameroon will understand that as well as Ghana,
I'm sorry to cut you short.
But in Nigeria, everybody has a little knowledge of Pidgin English. Or let me not say everybody, but most people know. I mean, you go to the market, at least you know how much did this thing. Wait till you talk. Those are basic Pidgin English,
Yeah.
because you meet with people that you have to relate
in Pidgin English with on a daily basis. So it's not one language that is very strange to people. I mean, like you said, it's not just a Nigerian language; it's also a Pan-African language as well. I see a lot of countries doing Pidgin in their own way. Ghana they have their own Pidgin. I was in Ghana and I heard them speak Pidgin, similar to Nigerian Pidgin, but just some little differences. So
yeah.
Hold on. In Lagos, you guys have over 20 million people. And then, there'll be another part of the country. Every region has its own, its own words. It's just like here in America, you go to Kentucky, they might talk one way of English. You go to California, they might talk another way. Hawaii has its own pidgin. As a kid, that was probably the first pidgin that I was introduced to. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. But no, it's good. It's just like, here in Florida, Spanglish. People understand. But I want to see those videos when you do that. I personally want you to send them to me because I want to send them to a network of people who are trying to come to Africa. And I'm talking about the Americans like me, but I'm talking about the ones who think that they can save Africa. I tell people only Jesus saves. But they come to Africa or they come to Colombia or they go anywhere and they think, oh, we can save these people. Why? Because you bought a plane ticket. You can't even balance your own budget, but you come to a foreign country acting like you know something. That's the American way a lot of times. So I want to see those videos personally when you do it because I want to share it to people. Because a lot of people get chopped in all over the world. 419 is not a crime, it's just a game. ID winner, especially when you come with a big head that you think you have the way, instead of listening to the people, learning from others when you get there, coming like a baby, a child. So I want to see that. I'm excited about that.
I'm going to share that with you, definitely. I'll share the ones I have done with you. So a couple of them are on my Instagram page, but I'll just share them as video files with you. Thank you very much always for Kelly. You've been a big source of encouragement, and I'm glad that I cross paths with you. It's something I'm always grateful to God for. So I'm going to share them with you.
Oh man, it takes a team to make the dream come true. And I remember what Phil said when he saw your video. He said he has it. He said he has it. I said, oh, okay. I said, let me see. And he was right. And so, when you get on and you're doing your element, you know that you're meant to be there. What other talents? I think you were going to go on. I just had to stop you because when I hear, I love that idea. But what other things are you working on?
Okay. I've mentioned the voiceover. Yeah, I do voiceover. I train people to be voiceover artists, and apart from the music part of it, and I'm a broadcaster. I am an MC. Master of ceremonies for events, birthdays, weddings. That's where we cash out mostly from weddings. You know how big Nigerian weddings can be. So branding myself as a wedding MC is also something that comes in handy. So these are basically what I do. And I manage a studio. I manage a radio and television studio for an institution. So that's also one aspect. I train students as well on using broadcast equipment, how to be professional broadcast journalists, how to be OAPs. I'm also a video editor. I also edit audio. So these are like some of the ways. So people send audio to me or send videos. Oh, Victor, can you help me do this? I'm like, hey, guys, this is how much it's going to cost you. We're like, okay, it's too much. No, bring it down. So those are basically, some places where I try to let my money flow or the cash flow.
Oh, and you're still a single man, correct?
Yes, I am. I am a single
Okay,
man,
so the
Kelly.
bride price has not been paid for anyone, and I say that, you know, for the ladies. The ladies are always saying, "Oh, send me somebody, send me somebody." Now, when I send you this video, the real question is, are you ready for somebody who is serious
Yeah,
in the church, who's doing his purpose, who, you know? And so I put that out there because I get those, you know, when people come to Africa, they want to know, how do I stay here? And a lot of people want to find, you know, their wife or their husband, and they want to be able to find a business that they can do. Victor is doing a lot.
yeah.
So I'm in. Victor is here, single guy. If we find somebody who is good, of course you're a good person. So you know a good person. You know somebody who I would love. I would love somebody as good as you are, who is intentional about God. That's one very key thing I look out for. You have to be intentional about God. You need to serve God because I've seen come through for me at different times. So if you're not intentional about God, how do we train the kids? So I need you to, to help. I need you to be that person. And yeah, beautiful too, of course. I have good taste, man.
Well, I'm telling you, we put this thing out there and you'll be surprised because there's a lot of people, especially, you know, there's no perfect politician anywhere. We know there's Wahala and Palava everywhere. These people are egomaniacs, but it's the best that we have. Megalomaniacs.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of people who are finding peace in different countries. I tell people when I'm in an African country or even in Mexico where we're residents, I don't have to deal with certain things because of, you know, not being from there. Can you tell the people, do you see your whole life being in Nigeria, or do you see yourself falling bush and traveling the world, or is Nigeria home?
Okay.
First of all, Nigeria is home. Let's start with that. We need to get that clear. It has always been home. This was where I was raised. This is where I grew up, and I have been opportune to travel out. I studied in Ghana, so I've seen life outside Nigeria, and it's always good to be home. The truth is, there is no place in the world that can be like Nigeria. Let's leave all of those issues that we experience in the country. Let's leave those leadership, also, and all of those peculiar, problems. But Nigeria is one very good place that you would love to be. However, I would love to, explore other countries. I am somebody who loves to travel a lot. So I want to see what life is. I like to see things from different perspectives. What's the culture in this country? How do we compare it with what happens here? How do we marry both? All right. By that way, you are able to relate with people better because you can easily, you know, understand people's cultures, their beliefs, what they love, and you don't offend people because you understand that, oh, once I do this, this person will feel offended. Or once I do this, this is what makes this person happy. So I'm open to collaborations, I'm open to traveling. I don't know what God's plan is for me. I always say, if God says, hey, bro, you got to relocate, who am I to say no? If he says, hey, you have to be in Nigeria, who am I to say no? So I work with the plan, though I make my own plans, yeah. But then I make plans and I ask God, what do you think about this thing? Is this something that makes sense? Should I continue? He doesn't necessarily have to speak to me that, oh, do this. But he uses different ways. God speaks in different ways. He could use signs, he could use people, he could use events, he could use your job. So maybe there's one international job that comes in and says, hey, bro, we need you to get out of that country. You need to, come up here and get this thing done.
I, I,
Muchas
I, I
gracias.
so that way,
I know that, man, I gotta move. But nonetheless, Nigeria is always home for now.
Man, that's
Are you a successful entrepreneur or one in training? You've got the vision, but do you have the right partner to build your brand, your team, and your future online and off? At CPRfirm.com, we offer expert consulting, financial guidance, and life coaching because we believe in doing life with our clients. After all, what is it for a man to gain the world and lose his soul? Founded by Callan Cash Coleman, we help our clients not only succeed but plan to retire rich. Your business deserves the best. Start building your legacy today at cprfirm.com.
I love the answer. And again, you know, if God calls, you go where he calls you to go. That's how I feel. I get it. I get it. I'm from this country. I don't know if I always feel at home. I'm comfortable, but I'm comfortable wherever I go. What is the way, or what is the way that best people can contact you if they want to hire you for any of those services, or have you speak at their church, or, you know, get the praise and worship? Where can they find you? And outside of, you know, your ministry, is there a minimum number that they need to have? Because, you know, sometimes people will come and they will expect free for everything. Even though you said you have a band, you know, that you have to pay,
Yeah,
even
yeah.
though there's gas and fuel and petrol and all these things. Is there any minimum numbers or ranges you can help the people, so if they know they don't have it, not to call you, you know?
Okay.
All right. So let me start with the first question. Yeah, you can reach me on various popular social media platforms like Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, or X now. I mean, even on TikTok. So I am. My name is Victor Odion, VictorOdion. You can find me with that on LinkedIn and Facebook, right? Now on X and Instagram, I am Victor. Now this time around, VYK instead of VIC, right? VYKTORODION together, right? So yeah, these are like and on YouTube, it's Victor Odion, right? So that's like these are my handles. Um, about the payments, inviting me, I am open to any collaboration. I'm open to any, event as long as it is giving God praise. That's my thing. I love to do it. Like I said earlier, I'm not going to tell you that this is what you should pay me, right? But you know, you should cater for my team. That's all I can say. Because if I have to fly all the way down from here, you know, you should know you're going to bear that as a cost. You're going to take care of accommodation. And but I'm not going to say that, hey, this is how much you should bring. Just do your thing. If you want to sow a seed, why not? If you want to give into the ministry, why not? But I'm not going to charge you. Yeah, for that. But for other services that I offer, I don't know if that's the question. For other services that I offer, it depends on the service. My charge for being a wedding MC is different from how much I charge you for doing a voiceover for you. Is different from how much I charge you for influencing a content for you. So it varies, So if we have a tete-a-tete, like a personal conversation, then I'll just let you know how much it will cost depending on what you want.
Well, you guys have got the game, and I could go for hours, but I don't know if the network will allow that. But I do know we're
Yeah,
trying to
there's a
make
meeting by
plans.
6, yeah,
Yeah,
with AD&C. It's almost
yeah,
time.
yeah. Yes, I can't wait to get to Nigeria and check things out. I can't wait. But I want people to go over. I know most of you are listeners. I want you to go over, look at the YouTube, give it some love, give it a like, give it a comment. You can do that on the podcast as well through Apple or Podbean and others. Spotify, I don't want to leave you out, but I want to make sure I leave on the right note, wanting you guys and having you guys have clear information. So let them know. We all the links we have in the description. I'm letting them know. Victor, we could do this another day. I thank you.
Definitely.
Thank you for answered prayer, God, for allowing this to finally, let it flow. And the connection, that's an answered prayer. And we're going to go to yeah, go ahead. You got the last word.
All right, so I'm so sorry. I mean, we should have had this a long time ago, but yeah, it's been one event or the other. But I mean, it finally pulled through. And trust me, Kelly, I am open to having more conversations if that's okay with you. I mean, I would want to interact with the people. That's my thing. I am the friend of the crowd. That's what you should call me. I'm the friend of the crowd, the friend of the congregation. That's who I am, right? So, and also thank you for the opportunity to be here. It's one opportunity I've always looked forward to, and here I am. So it's like a dream come true for me. Thanks so much.
I appreciate you. You as the audience, you've made it through to the end. Again, comment, like, but most importantly, I need you to share this game with somebody. It will change their life. Remember, it's a family business. It's different. Y'all be blessed.
Are you tired of the rat race in America? Are you ready to visit the motherland to relax and rejuvenate? Are you ready to explore all that Africa has to offer? Then check out the brand new Diversified Game Academy course, Prepare for My First Trip to Africa. Are you worried about being able to afford the trip? We got you. We will show you how to travel either on a budget or as a baller. Learn how to stress the value of the USD. Did you know that 100 United States dollars is worth over 1,000 South African rand, or 10,000 Kenyan shillings, or 54,250 West African CFA? Are you worried about taking your kids? Get the game from Kellen Cash, a bona fide world traveler, having traveled to almost 20 countries, several of those in Africa. Get the game on taking your kids on their first trips. Learn how to find the best tickets, get the visas, and plan your own adventures in Africa. Don't let Eddie Murphy have all the fun. Plan your own coming to Africa trip starring you, produced by you, and featuring you. If you are ready for a life-changing experience, sign up for our course today, Diversified Game Academy. Get prepared and purchase at diversifiedgame.com.